Hey everybody, for this video I'm going to be trying out this Postflop plus GTO training app. This is a free trial. You can basically sign up for 3 free days and it shows you different spots and tells you basically what the optimal play is supposedly supposed to be. You can look it up by all these different stack sizes, action types, game types. You can choose targeted trainings or different stack depths. They have MTT cache spins, and there's all kinds of different cool things on here. But for this video, we're just going to try some random spots and see how we do. I'm not going to edit anything out, so if I do something suboptimal or make a stupid blunder, it'll be on here, but that's the whole point, is to learn. So we can see at the top there, small blind made it 2.5. We made it 2.5. Big blind called. They check the flop and it's ace, 4, 5, 2 diamonds. And then we see our options there on the bottom. In this spot, I think I would bet, if it was a weaker ace, I would probably check back. See, there's like, I'm trying to think of like what I would do, but then also like what they want me to do, which I guess that's the whole point, is in theory it's supposed to be the same thing, but I think I would bet small here. They raise. Definitely not folding and definitely not raising, so I guess that just leaves call. I think the green up top, hopefully that means we do good. I don't think they should be check raising a bunch of fives. I guess some maybe, but it's pretty draw heavy, so we're gonna bet. Nope, it says that was a mistake. So I guess it wanted me to check, which makes sense. I guess I was just thinking I would try and get some value from the draws, which is the most likely thing they would have, and that they shouldn't be check raising a lot of fives. But according to this, checking is way better. Whatever you say, GTO. So let's go ahead and retry that. So they check. I already forgot what I did last time we bet. We call. They check. So it wants us to check. And now, now it's just a matter of sizing. I guess half pot. All right, so that they said was perfect. It's interesting. On a double flush draw board like that, it feels kind of weird letting them realize their equity there for nothing, but I guess that's why we're learning. Next spot. Are these all heads up? I was hoping it would just be more random stuff. All right, so under the gun, raised, we called. Now this flop, they check. I think here we have, I think this is one of those like way ahead, way behind spots, so I would probably check here. They like it. They check. We have showdown value and we're not going to get worse to fold, so check again. They like it. And then a bet. So we beat some stuff. We beat all the non-pair hands. We have a club, which I know GTO doesn't like a ton. I think I would still call this. They like it. They like it. All right, cutoff versus big blind. So the cutoff, min raises. We re-raise to 5.5 bigs. They call. And now we have a weak king. So I know GTO likes to be balanced, and we're super, this is like a small stack depth, but I know it likes us to have top pairs in our check range, and this is probably the worst one. So even though this is a draw heavy board, I think they want me to check. And I think that yellow at the top means it's okay. Call. Did not like that at all. So it wanted me to bet small, and it wanted me to go all in. So if we bet small, then it just folds, and they say that was perfect. So I guess my thinking was it would be better to bet better kings, but I guess when something's that draw heavy, they want us to get it in there. I mean, it's interesting. All right, so under the gun raises, we call, terrible flop. I think this is another one where it wants us to check. Again, we have like showdown value versus like ace highs and stuff like that. It overbets, just not good enough to call, and it likes it. I wish there, how can I get, right. Next spot. So this one, we're deeper, so this has to be a cash game. 4-bet pot, it says. So the button, we open, the big blind re-raises, 3 bets, we 4-bet small, it calls. We have an overpair, and now it just leads for 5 bigs. I don't really care what it says. I'm never calling here. So if I'm not calling, I'm not folding, and I'm not shoving, I guess that leaves raise. Thank goodness. If it said call there, I was gonna be upset. So I just don't like that play, letting them see a card for that cheap of a price and like dictating the action and stuff. So now we want to get some value, relatively draw heavy. So if it's giving us quarter pot, half pot, and overbet, then I'm going to go with that one, which it likes. Likes the half pot. All right. So we know how to play kings. Yay, us. Ace 5 suited. So we opened, the big blind, which is them, called. We're super deep, well, relatively deep. And there's 5.5 bigs in the pot. They check to us. There's a lot of merit to checking and betting in this spot. Betting is equity denial, and there's a ton of over cards and like bad cards that can come. And with a pair, we're likely to be ahead. However, when we bet and we get check raised, we're giving up a fair amount of equity, and it's tough, near impossible to play well in the long run against a check raise. So I think they're going to want me to check. So the same type of equation. For if you see up top there under the GTO training on the screen record thing, it when it's green, that means it liked what I did. So if you want to check it for yourself without me narrating. So the same type of equation. There's still a lot of bad cards, but then we have showdown value. We can beat the other ace highs and the Broadway cards and stuff. So I have a feeling it's gonna want me to check. All right. Same type of thing. I guess, if you wanted to get like super exploitative, you could try and like, this isn't a good board to get paid by worse. So I think it just wants me to check here. And yeah, showdown value. Next spot. So we are the button and we min raise it. They 3-bet and we call. And we flop top pair with a backdoor flush draw, and they lead out. Oh, we're at 11 bigs deep. I think just go all in on this one. Deny equity / get paid and prevent a scare card from coming. If they have a hand like, a 10, if they have like queen 10 or jack 10, we don't want like an ace to come and get rid of our action. So all in. Oh, I guess it prefers call to keep their bluffs in. Yeah. I guess that when you're that shallow, it's better to keep their bluffs in because you're not going to be folding anyway, even if the scare card does come. So that makes sense. It doesn't say it's terrible. So it says all in. This is saying that plus 6.6 CV. I don't know. It's saying it's similar, but anyway, that makes sense. Call. So here, jack of clubs, and they check. Between check and all in. So now they're checking. So do we want to give them a chance to get? Is it the same type of thing? We want to give them a chance to keep bluffing the river, or do we just want to get our value now? I think I would go all in here, which they like, I guess. We don't want to, at this point, let them realize their equity. Okay, so we're heads up, short stacked. We limp the big blind. They make it 2.7 bigs, and we call. And it's 9-9-3, and they bet, looks like about the third-ish pot. So we don't have we have some back doors. If this was deeper in a cash game and maybe against like exploitatively certain players, you could consider floating a hand like this and certain turns take it away. This shallow, this dry of a board, I think the options are fold or raise like small. Again, you could be fancy and call. It's better if you're deeper, but I think they're gonna say that they want me to fold. All right. Way to make folding 6 high sound like a super complex decision. All right, so here's a total whiff. So we're the small blind, and we raise to 3.2 bigs. They re-raise, and we call. And now we flop nada, just backdoor garbage. And yeah, against a 3-bet, I mean, we have to check. They check it back. So we can bet half pot, bet 3/4 pot, go all in, or check. I think GTO wise, this is GTO training after all, the betting would be better with a club, although we have no showdown value at all. When they check back, they're representing like a medium strength type hand, or could just be like pot controlling with an ace. Check. When they check twice, still don't have any blockers. So if we're checking, we're essentially just giving up. which sometimes, is the right move. I mean, yeah, when they check on a board like this, it's kind of indicative of showdown value, and we're probably not going to get them to fold, like kings, queens. I mean, going all in and trying to get them to fold like kings or like king, queen, I guess you could maybe in this spot accomplish the same thing by betting 13. Again, it's hard. I'm thinking of like what I would actually do in this spot. I think I would probably just give up. Yeah. Tap to show villain's hand. So they had a pair of eights. They flopped an 8 and just went into showdown mode. Makes sense. So it's a little loosey goosey on the 3-bet, but that's okay. So the hijack min raises, we defend the big blind and flop bottom pair. So on an ace high board, we do not want to be leading into the pre-flop raiser, so we check. They bet. We're super shallow. If we were deeper, we could float a pair. This is going to be tough to realize our equity, and we don't have a ton else going on. I mean, versus this size, I think there's all the Broadway cards in there. Like traditionally, against a smaller size, you're supposed to see one. I think versus a bigger size, they're going to say you're supposed to fold. Huh, it was call. Even this shallow and this, I guess I was thinking they would say that it would be tough to realize your equity. That you're going to face a lot of double barrels on this type of board, but apparently you need pair. So check, and then we call. Are they going to make it? Yeah, I was going to say, are they going to make it easy on us? So we can either bet small all in or check. And so this card's good for our range. And an ace high board, this is a very polarizing spot. So if they have trash and we lead, they're just going to fold it, which we don't want. And if they have an ace, they're relatively likely to bet. So I think check. And now we want to get paid by an ace. If we were in position, maybe we could just call and keep their bluffs in. But here, I think all in, which they like. They call. They had ace 7, and does it show a river? Does it? Why do I care? It's training. All right, so I guess it's cool that they show you this type of thing, that it's the right move, even though you run into a hand that has you beat, it still was the right play. So, I mean, that part's cool for things like these. Let's do a few more of these, and then we'll end the video. So we are under the gun, and we make it 2.5 bigs. They 3-bet, we 4-bet. They call, and now they're leading a third-ish pot on king, queen, jack, and sucks, but I think we just have to fold this. Hooray, we're the best. Aces, so hijack opens to 2.5 bigs. We 3-bet to 11. They 4-bet, and we trap on the button by calling. Jack 10-4, and they check. Definitely, it's not the most like dynamic draw heavy board ever, but there still is a lot. There's a lot to get paid from. We started this 200 big blinds deep. If it was a paired board like Jack 4, I would check. On this board, it's bet like a tenth of the pot in position. Bet 17. I don't know what is that. It's like fifth, somewhere between a fourth and a fifth of the pot, or betting half pot. This is an interesting one. So earlier in the thing, they did the whole like lead into 10th pot bet thing. So what would I do in this spot? I would probably, if we bet half pot and we get check raised, I mean, life happens, right? I mean, like, yeah, sometimes they're going to have jack 10 or 10s or jacks. This is a 4-bet pot. And we just flatted. They raise, we re-raise, they re-raise, and we trapped, and now they check. It's interesting. And they check. So I think in this spot I would bet something like half pot and try and build a pot against like kings, queens, those type of hands. So that's what I'm going to say. It says that's okay. They liked betting the 17 bigs, I guess. So it's a 4-bet pot, so we don't have to bet super big. And I guess this keeps their weaker-ish holdings in there. Makes sense. So they check. We do the right thing this time, and they still fold. King 8. Yeah. So it likes that way better than everything else. All right, let's do 2 more, and then we'll call it a vid. So hijack opens to 2.3. We 3-bet the cutoff to 6.9. They call 4.6 more, and it comes the driest flop, one of the driest flops possible, no draws possible, and they check. We are in one of those showdown equity denial spots. So 3-bet on a super dry board, I think we can deny a ton of their equity by betting small. I would probably bet super small in this spot. They likey. Ace 7 spades. All right, one more. So we are short stacked, starting 20 bigs. We open to 2 bigs. The hijack calls, and we flop a flush draw on a paired board, but don't have almost no showdown value. So we can bet 3/4-ish pot, a third of the pot, or we can check. I think we benefit from just taking this type of pot down now, so we're going to bet small. They call. So it's the scare card in a lot of different ways. It's the ace high, and it completes the flush. I think in this type of spot, I would lean towards checking a lot, unless I had reasons not to, because we want to have flushes in our range. They're going to have a lot of ace high floats, and we also want to give them the opportunity to bluff. They think that's okay, so I guess on a super dry-ish, other than the flush draw board like this, they're saying we're going to have a ton of air, and that this card, that club is going to want to bet a lot to get them to fold and take down the pot. So we want to have some flushes in there, maybe trap with the bigger flushes, and this also denies some equity, or denies equity / gets value more accurately when they have just a higher naked club like the jack of clubs. So I could see that. That makes sense. And they check, and now we can either go for value or go all in. And I guess once they check back, I like over betting and bluffing. I look for spots to do it, but on these ace high boards, it's going to be tough to get hero called. Like I get the max when they have an ace, but if they don't have an ace, like they're not going to call with pocket sevens. So we're going to go for value, which is wrong, wrong, wrong. You're wrong. Okay. So let's retry first with the line that I did. So bet, call, and then they want me to go all in this spot, which they say is okay. So yeah, sixes, that's, they're not going to call with that type of hand. So what they actually prefer is bet small, and then okay, so sorry, I did that backwards. I did it that way. I said check. So if they do that, then on the river they want me to go all in and I'm gonna get snapped off by sixes. That's dope. Okay. So yeah. So what they wanted me to do was bet small, and then they wanted me to go all in. No. What? They wanted me to bet small again. So they wanted me to... Sorry, I'm kind of playing a tournament on my phone at the same time I'm doing this, and I can be kind of scatterbrained sometimes. So they wanted me to bet, call, and then they wanted me to bet small, and then they wanted me to get sucked out on the river. Like, I mean, we're not ever putting them on a hand like that, so obviously go all in. And then sometimes poker doesn't work out. Okay, well, this was cool and interesting. Seems like something I would, in general, recommend for people trying to get better at this kind of thing. It looks like they have a bunch of cool features. You can select the certain type of spots you want. You can only do certain ones, or you could do the random ones like I was doing. And yeah, free trial. So the only thing is they give you like a 3-day free trial, and then they start like automatically charging you. It's like $5 a week, or you could pay, I think, like a lifetime membership. Does it show somewhere on here? It says I've had this installed for a long time. I don't even remember installing this. I must have just done it and never done it. But anyway, go ahead and check it out. I know you can pay either weekly, yearly, monthly, or you can pay a one-time lifetime membership or something. So if you're interested, check it out. If you like this, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll review some other different apps and training things, or maybe this video will fade into obscurity with most of the other videos on the internet. All right, take care. Peace.